Today's garage cooking lesson is going to be different than others. I am making food solely out of the items that I store in the house. I think everybody should have about 30 pounds of beans and 30 pounds of rice and 30 pounds of oatmeal, some salt and sugar, dried milk if you wanted to add that to it. My intent for myself and my children is that we can be in the house for 30 days, which I think most of us probably could with a regularly stocked pantry. But I also wanted to be able to stay alive for 90 days without any outside contact. So what I'll be making today is a Navajo bread recipe that I got from Steph. I've never done it before. And then I'm going to show you how I use multiple layers in the pressure cooker to make a beans and rice combination. And with the proper spicing, that stuff comes out really good. Without the proper spicing, it tastes kind of like mush. But having the right spices in your house is a good idea also. So I'll start with making the dough for the Navajo bread. Then I will get the pinto beans and rice rolling, show you the timing I use in the pressure cooker and the stacked pans inside that make it work. And in the end, hopefully it'll all come together when I make the Navajo bread in a skillet. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm starting the recipe for the Navajo flatbread. I'm making half of a recipe, so it takes a teaspoon of oil, a cup of flour, 5/8 of a cup of lukewarm water, half a tablespoon of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. Then we'll mix those together. You can see that the dough's ready. It took a little less water than the recipe said. The next thing is I cook in a pressure cooker. It takes incredibly small amounts of energy to cook things. There's a secret to doing multiple dishes at once. You'll notice that this has a 2-pan thing on the inside. An upper pan in which I will do the rice, and a lower pan in which I will do the beans. And then those go back in there together on different timelines to do what we need done. So what I'm going to do now is cut up the pepper, the onion that I'm going to put in there. The beans have soaked overnight. They're right here. And I'll put all that together with the right spices and get it rolling. And then I'll stop the cooking about 2/3 of the way through to put the rice in, because it takes less time. Okay, so the ingredients for the beans are ready. That's a half a cup of beans. I use about 2 cups of water, and there will be extra water that will pour off at the end. This is the chopped poblano pepper that we'll put in there, followed by most of an onion. And the beauty of the pressure cooker is when this is cooking, it won't get burned on the bottom. So now the spices, a touch of cumin. I'm not a big fan of cumin, but it helps. Garlic powder, a little bit of ancho chili pepper. That's too much. Some pepper. And some salt. And then this is ready to go in. So we'll put the upper pot on. The pressure cooker has about 1 inch of water in the bottom. We'll put this in here, put it in the pressure cooker, put the lid on, and bring it to heat. That'll take a few minutes. Okay, the pressure cooker's come up to speed, and this is really where you can save a lot of energy when you're cooking. And if you turn the heat down about as low as you can. This one is a little bit touchy, but that much flame will keep this pressure cooker working. And it's very little gas over time. We'll let this go 10 minutes. The pressure cooker should look like when it's cooking, you've got the heat turned down. Our time's up for the beans, so what I'm going to do is take the pressure cooker off, run it under cold water, to take the pressure down. As soon as the pressure comes off, I'll open it up and then I'll remove the top pan to put the rice in. Pressure's off. Open it up. Lift out the trays. Just open the top one. Put in the rice and the water. Put it back in the pressure cooker. I'm going to turn it to high heat. And once that starts rocking, we'll do 5 minutes then. Okay, the timer just went off for 5 minutes. So we'll remove the pressure cooker from heat. And this time we'll do what's called a natural release, which is where you let the pressure come down on its own and it keeps cooking while it's doing that. I'll turn off the stove to save some fuel. And I've already rolled out a couple of these pieces of bread with some great coaching from Rhonda, the world's best bread maker. But I figured this is going to make about 4. I made a half a recipe of the Navajo bread. Turn it over so it doesn't stick. Roll it out with your piece of PVC pipe, which is the perfect rolling pin. Got a couple of these done. One left to roll out. So while the pressure cooker is cooling down, the skillet's ready to make the bread. And you put them in there until they brown on one side, and then you turn them over, and they're done. Okay, when it bubbles up like that, flip it. I'm going to put a little salt on here. Cook until it's done. Looks pretty good. Turn the heat down. So, pressure's off on the pressure cooker. We'll open it up. Get the inside pieces out. Separate them. There's our rice. I don't rinse the rice, and it does stick together, but it saves the vitamins in it. And then here are the beans. So there you have it. Made completely out of our food stores. And it's not that expensive to have 30 pounds of beans and 30 pounds of rice around and a little bit of flour. And it will go a long way if you have to stay in your house. So there you have it. Rhonda was a big help with the bread. She's the bread master. And but it was a good event. This will run longer on YouTube and Facebook than normal, but I think it's a message worth hearing. Hope you're doing great. Staying safe.